what are we dealing with once we are talking about sex? In my life, I saw it being used against me. I saw people not seeing the depths of the sexual intercourse, so they tried to make fun of me for pursuing a high standard. What I mean is with high standard is, for example, if you say to your future spouse, future husband, future wife, you are going to tell them, please, by any means, until we get engaged or married, don't enter into no fornication. Don't whore around before shit gets real. If that husband or that woman, husband or wife, future, is not spiritual enough, they can use it against you and see if you are still going down for them, if you still want them in their life, even though you made it clear that you didn't want to have any of these impurities. So let me go into why the standard is so high. Ephesians chapter 1 verse 13. And you supposed children of God, people who should understand this type of spiritual deepness when it comes to sex, you were also included in Christ when you heard the message of truth. Going back to my example, when I speak something truthful and saying, please, before we are one, before we make a vow before God, let's cut the shit out. Then you as my partner heard the message of truth, the gospel of your salvation, because it saves you. Once you obtain a certain grade of knowledge about sex, it saves you a lot of hardships. What kind of hardships are this? Of course, once you have sex with somebody, all those spiritual material, for instance, worries, doubts, it's been carried along with you in your brain. So it's not only dick and pussy that unite, but it's a whole person's daily content, the storage, everything they have stored up in their minds and brains. So spiritual energy is exchanged. In Hebrews, in the scriptures, it has also been, it's in James, it's been mentioned that where do all these quarrels, wars, fighting come from? Are they not coming from the lust, which is waging war inside of your flesh? So when you look on Saturdays evening, most of the times people get set up for committing fleshly acts. And on Sunday, in my city, you hear police more frequently during and throughout the day, especially at midday. So people start fussing, fighting, because they underestimated the energy exchange that happened in the night before. So what do we love about it? I think we love a certain relief that we can get from not having to contemplate in our own minds. Once we have sex, we ease out. we forget that problems are there to cast them on the one who says, cast your worries on me, because I will care for you. Because sex is also drowning. You know, you don't keep your head up, but you bow down, literally. You perform acts like a blowjob. You are bowing, you are bending, you are making moves towards capitulating. Like, I have enough. You see, that's why we have all these different types of perversions when it comes to the sexual act, because the problems of human beings are endless. Galatians chapter 2 verse 8, for God, who was at work in Peter as an apostle to the circumcised, was also at work in me as an apostle to the Gentiles. You see, God can be at work in you, so also can be demons and unclean spirits. So every person has something which is at work in them. And for that reason, I come to the conclusion that it might not be this only or less the physical appetite, the rubbing against each other that thrills us so much, but more the relief from pressure, spiritual pressure, and the pressure of the mind, and a certain exchange of newness or of oldness, the old creature, like everything has become new. The old has been passed. Since people are still carrying the old creature, you have an exchange of creatures, spiritual content, and that excites us. Have you ever seen women or men smoking after the sexual act? They feel the nerve tensions, they feel the adrenaline, which was rushing and now easing up. So stay away from drugs, and let us really, when we like something, dig into our souls, because God is the author of every perfect gift and of every perfect grace. So let's receive the beauties of life out of His hands, instead of getting washed up corruptible in the material which enters in our soul and pollutes us, even though it might give us a small rush, but it's not sustainable. It longs for more. It creates a wound, and some wounds never heal. I won't tell you how the ending goes, whether I still receive that woman into my life or whether I have cast her out forever. Peace.